Hey, happy Friday. Thanks for joining me. I'm Nadawa from Paperflow Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to draw this little Easter bunny that you see over here in Inkscape, my favorite software for drawing and designing. Let me know as you're coming in, say hi, let me know where you're watching me from, and also if you can hear me and see me well. All right, so I know it's a little early for Easter, but I know a lot of you, when you are making your crafts, you need to start early because you need to get your stuff out for your customers and clients. So I want to get you prepared, and I have come up with a whole Easter challenge. So there will be four different sessions in the challenge. Join me here every Friday at the same time, 12 p.m. Eastern, and I will show you a different Easter themed drawing to make yourself in Inkscape. If you don't have Inkscape, you can just go ahead and download it. It's an open source software, so it's free to use. And if you need a little help using Inkscape, if you've never done it before, I do have resources. I have an Inkscape ebook to show you how to use Inkscape, all the shortcuts, because there's lots, like hundreds of shortcuts in the program. So this bunny is going to be using shapes, just like I always like to use in Inkscape. Make this a little bit bigger. So if you want the color palette, you can download it for free from my website. Just go over to paperflowdesigns.com/blog/how-to-draw an Easter bunny. If that's too long for you to remember, just go over to paperflowdesigns.com and type in Easter. You'll find the blog, and down at the bottom, you can download the color palette for free. You can use your own colors if you want to, but if you want to make yours look like mine, you can download my free color palette, and then you just import that into Inkscape as your drawing, so you can just pull the colors right from there. Right. Let me keep moving along. All right. One more thing just before I get started, let you know that I do have a course called So Simple SVG Files. If you are in my VIP club, you've already gotten an email because there's a sale this week on it. If you go over to paperflowdesigns.com/courses, you can find out about that. It teaches you all about how to make SVG files, from installing Inkscape, from making quotes, making simple designs, the shortcuts that you can use, how to save it, how to download it, how to get it into Cricut design space. So all of that stuff is in the course if you're interested. Let me take this down, and let's jump right into making this really easy Easter bunny in Inkscape. So if you are following along with me, this is the time to go ahead and open up Inkscape. I'm going to jump right in. If you don't have a graphic tablet, that's fine. You can draw this using a mouse. I do suggest using a graphic tablet with a pen, just because it's kind of like easier on your hand if you're making lots of digital illustrations. But you don't have to. Just a little tip from me to you. All right, let me add this to the stream. All right, so I'm going to start off making a circle. Just using the circle and ellipsis tool in Inkscape. The color, don't worry, if yours is different, you can just go ahead and click onto the color palette. Click the light yellowish orangish color if you really want it to be just like mine, but that's just the color I started with. It's not the color that I'm going to end up with. So at this point, it doesn't really matter what color you're using. You'll see that I will change the colors as I'm going along. So right now it's kind of that mauve kind of color, just so that you can see it on the white background. I'm not going to keep it this color. So I'm going to draw another circle. This is going to be the left ear, or like an oval, I guess. And this same oval, I'm going to duplicate that, turn it. To get the rotation arrows, you just double click. And then you have the little curved arrows that let you rotate your selected design. So I've duplicated it and I rotated it again. So I'm just going to make like a little bend in the rabbit's ear. I mean, you could keep it just straight up and down with the two, but I just want to give it a little bit of I don't know, a different look. So here I'm going to rotate it and bring it inside. A quick tip for you, what I'm doing here is I am changing the axis point, I think that's what it's called, the axis point, to rotate it. So if you saw when you double click, there's a little cross that shows up. And when you move that, it just changes the rotation point. So when I double click to rotate it, now it rotates from the end of the little ear instead of in the middle. All right, so now we got the two bunny ears. I'm going to make an insert for the ear that's going to be a different color. I'm still going to use the same base ear. Put this up here in case you're just joining me so you can see what this is about. I think you can probably figure it out that it is a rabbit, a bunny. I'm not going to keep it up there too long because I think sometimes it hides the menu functions. All right. So I've duplicated the same circle that I used to make the bunny head so that I can make the body. And then I'll just elongate that, just stretch it out by clicking on the arrow and just pulling it down a little bit. So there I'm making the insert for the ear. You can't see it because it's the same color. So I'm going to go to the color palette and choose the pink color, the light pink color. So now I've got my first insert for the left ear. I'm going to duplicate it, rotate it, and put the same one into the left ear. To get the nose, I just click 3 times onto the selection. So if you click twice, you get the rotation handles. The rotation handles, like I mentioned just before, those are the curved arrows, and that just lets you rotate what you have selected. And if I click again, then I get the nodes. The nodes are all those little squares that you see, and that just lets you edit and change your object based on each little node. So I can pull out each node one at a time, or I can select a couple of them if I want to. So here I'm going to make the eyes. I'm using that same circle that I used for the head. I duplicated that and I'm going to shrink that down to make the eyes for the bunny. Of course, I can duplicate it again. I can also just click on the space bar if I want to use that same item. All right, I'm going to use the star tool to make the nose. So I just change the color using the color drop method. So I use the color dropper tool and I can go over to the color palette and switch the color to that same light pink color. So I'm using the same color that's in the insert from the ears. And now I'm just going to round out all of those sharp corners of my triangle because I want it to be, you know, like a soft little bunny nose with like rounded edges instead of sharp edges. So now I can move it into place and shrink it down so that it is nice and small, giving him like a little cute nose. All right, so we've got his eyes, his nose, and the next thing I'm going to draw is his mouth. Do rabbits have? Yeah, they have mouths. Of course, they have mouths. Just trying to think, is it called something else? Let me know if I'm assuming. Yeah, it's just a rabbit mouth. So this one I'm going to draw using Oh no, this is the whiskers. Sorry, I'm drawing the whiskers next. After the whiskers, then I'm going to draw the mouth. So the whiskers are going to be really easy just using the rectangle tool. And I'm not going to keep it straight up and straight rectangle. I am going to put a little slight curve in it. And it's not going to stay blue, so don't worry. This is just the default color that's in my Inkscape. Yours might be something different, but just using the color dropper, I can change the color. All right, I'll make that a little bit smaller, a little narrower, just by using the arrows to shrink it down. Here is where I'm going to put the little curve in it. So you can see I have the nodes. Let me get a little bit closer so you can see. Go up that screen. I'm moving the nodes, which are just those little squares that you see on there, and I just move them one at a time. So I move the top one up a little bit to give it a curve, and then I move the bottom one. And that gives me my first bunny whisker. And since I love my shortcuts, I'm just going to use that same first one I'm going to duplicate it and make a set of 3 on each side. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this week has been so long. So I was happy that Friday came along. I get to do a little drawing tutorial, start off the Easter challenge. All right, so to duplicate that, I just select all 3 of them, duplicate, move it into place first. And then I'm going to flip it over and then hold down Control while I drag it over. When you hold down Control, it will keep it on the same level. All right, so now I've got his eyes, his nose, his whiskers, and now I'm ready to draw the mouth. Even though I said that before, this is the point now where I'm going to get ready to draw the mouth. So I'm using the circle tool. I could draw this freehand, but I would like to come, and show you guys really like the easiest possible way that you can use to draw in Inkscape. I know a lot of times people tell me like, oh, Inkscape is really hard. And it does seem hard when you're first starting, just like when you're first starting anything, pretty much. But if you know like these little shortcuts that I'm showing you, and of course, if you practice, it gets less hard. All right, so from that first oval that I did, I'm just kind of like moving it into place to form like the left side of his mouth, which looks like a hockey stick, a little backwards J. So you can just adjust the nodes to where you feel comfortable, where you want it. Like I say every week, like this is always the sticking point for me. Like once I get into Inkscape and like I start moving things around, it's like a little bit to the left, like a little bit to the right. Sometimes you can like go down the rabbit hole doing all of these like little tiny adjustments, and then you look up and then you realize, okay, 20 minutes later, I'm still working on that same little piece that for this drawing. So especially in the beginning, don't get yourself caught up into trying to make this perfect or trying to do like the best drawing ever, get every single little detail correctly. Just try something out. Doesn't have to be perfect, just so that you can knock it out, get it done. And once you see that you finish like one whole drawing, even if it's a simple drawing, you have that sense of accomplishment. And then you don't end up with like 30 minutes and you're like, okay, all I drew was one side of the rabbit's mouth. Talking from experience here. Right, so then I duplicated it once I decided, okay, I'm happy with the way it looks. Duplicated it and then move that over to the right. So now you can see that it's starting to form like that little, you know, double-sided U shape for the mouth. I'm going to take those two shapes, so kind of like overlap them so it touches, and then I'm going to unite them so that they'll be one piece instead of two pieces. Now I can move that over and put that right on top of his face. Of course, it's too big, so I can shrink that. Give him a cute little mouth. If you are watching this, like maybe on your lunch break or I don't know, some other time of the day when you don't have Inkscape in front of you or you don't have your computer in front of you, go ahead and watch it anyway so that you can get an idea of, you know, where everything is, how to do it quickly, and then you can come back and watch the full video while you're actually doing the tutorial along with it. Sometimes it helps when you see things more than once to kind of get the idea. You might be thinking, oh no, okay, how did she like, you know, join the mouth, or how did she draw that part? All right, so now I'm just making a little kind of like insert in his tummy. I just duplicated the same oval that I used for the body, made a second one, and used that light pink color from the color palette to change the color. And now I'm going to make his tail. So I've just duplicated the circle for his head. I'm going to shrink that down. Just make a really simple bunny tail and stick that on the side. All right, so we're almost there. We've got all of the major elements of the bunny here, but I'm not going to leave this like this mauve kind of color. I'm going to change the color. I can't change it to white right away because if I do, you're not going to see anything in the background because the background is white. So what I need to do is I'm making a square that I'm going to use as the background. This doesn't have to be something that you keep. It's just so that you can see the rabbit against the white background. A lot of times if I make like SVG designs that are white, like, I don't know, like a Halloween ghost or something like that, I'll put a different background on it just so that when the person opens it, like if I sell it in my shop, they open it, they can actually see that it's there. Because otherwise, when the person goes to open it in Inkscape, they won't see anything just because it's the same color as the background. So that is a little tip for all of your designs that are going to be all white. Put something else like a different color backdrop so that we see the difference. All right, now I can make all the rest of the bunny white. You can see him. That is our simple little cute bunny that you can save as an SVG file and use it in whatever cutting software that you use that recognizes SVG files, like Cricut, Design Space, or Silhouette. And that's him there. So this is the first lesson in the Easter challenge. I will be doing 3 more. So get on my VIP list if you're not on there so that you can be notified as soon as I upload the video. I send out a notice to let you know when I'm going live, and also so that you can watch it later if you can't be here live. You can find out what the things are that I'm going to do in the Easter challenge if you go to paperflowdesigns.com/how to draw an Easter bunny. I have all of the things that I'm doing week by week. So every Friday, if you join me, you'll see what we're doing next. And you can also download the color palette over there. Other things that I use in here also, like I said, if you're new to Inkscape and you want to learn more, you want to like really deep dive and you're thinking, okay, I really want to learn how to make SVG files. They're really popular right now. Everybody and their mom is getting a Cricut machine. I want to, get in on this too. If you go over to my blog at paperflowdesigns.com/courses, you can find out all about my SVG course, which is So Simple SVG files. It's called that because it's a really simple course. It's simple, but there's a lot of different things to know about making your designs well, and all of the little tricky things that, that people will say, like, oh, I don't know, like, why is it not working? Why can't I see it? Like, why is it not saving? I tell you all of that in there. Thank you again for joining me. I feel like I'm rambling now. Join me again next week. Next Friday, I'll be here at the same time with a new drawing in the Easter challenge. I'll see you later. Bye.